This is the Transformers Beast Wars Deluxe Class Cybershark by Kenner. Actually, this is the Hasbro reissue. The original toy was released in 1997 by Kenner, and years later, Hasbro would purchase Kenner, and all the properties that Kenner had became Hasbro properties, and as such, Hasbro can do these kinds of reissues. It feels, from where I'm standing, the exact same figure that was released by Kenner in 1997. It looks and feels like the exact same figure. Maybe the green paint might have changed slightly, or the beige paint on his face might be a slightly different shade of beige. I don't know, but from the pictures I've seen, since I don't have the original Kenner release, it looks to be the exact same figure. For some size comparisons, here is Cybershark with the current Kingdom Scorponok. I mean, back then, deluxe class figures were actually pretty big, pretty hefty. So he's okay. He's basically a shell former. There's not a lot you can do with the figure, but he has loads of articulation. The neck is on a ball joint. Shoulders are on ball joint. There's a hinge for the elbow. Hips are on a little bit loose ball joints. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got a hinge knee and hinge ankle. There's not a lot you can do with this figure in terms of posability because the ball joints are pretty weak, and he doesn't have a waist articulation, and this huge hammerhead beast head is just really hindering articulation for the legs. The figure is not without a ton of features and accessories. He's got loads. Let's begin with this claw weapon. This actually forms a tail of the beast mode. If you push on this button, it reveals another part of the tail, which forms a claw. It's sort of like a switchblade type of melee weapon. I thought it was pretty cool. You can have him hold it this way, or you can actually have him hold it underhanded like this, so he could stab opponents with the original tail and then release the claw to just grab opponents. Okay. His other or main feature is actually the hammerhead. It actually acts like a missile launcher. So you fold up his, I guess his member. He gets excited. So when he's going to blast some Predacons, he positions his head and you press this button and it should launch. Okay, that was anticlimactic, but you get the idea. So he launches his head, or his load, I suppose, and then to reload, he's got two other missiles stored on his back. I thought this was pretty neat. Most of the time, missiles get lost because there's no place to store them, but for the Beast Wars toys, there's always a place to store the weapons, and it's a pretty cute rocket or missile. It's sculpted in in a shark head. There's some like shark head, shark teeth and gills and eyes. I thought that was pretty cute. So you can put that in, and I think this one would launch fairly longer distance than the hammerhead. Yep, I guess the weight would bog down. Now, the hammerhead itself can actually be used as a melee weapon as well. So he can hit people with his head. That was pretty cool. So lots of features with the robot, great articulation, but there's a lot of animal kibble on the back, and you can clearly see that right here hindering some of the movements of his limbs. Let's look at his amazing head sculpt. I thought this was one of the highlights of this figure. Cybershark's head sculpt. It's actually pretty cool. Pretty scary. I mean, for a Maximal, he looks pretty angry and vicious. Okay, so transformation. I guess you put everything back, and yep, we'll add this one later. This one can be added at the end right here. But we'll do that later so it doesn't interfere with the transformation. So the first thing you want to do is, it's pretty straightforward. You want to fold up this entire section right here, collapse, And then his legs are going to come down right here. Fold up the feet. You could rotate the arms like this so that you can peg in those heel spurs. Okay. And then the tail. Just slide it over here and finish the transformation. Okay, there you go. There is Cybershark in his beast mode. It's a hammerhead shark. It's actually pretty cool. It's a cool looking shark mode. The lower fins are on ball joints, so you can position them any which way you want. I like it this way or this way. He's actually pretty cool. It's a nice shark to play around with because he's hefty, he's pretty solid. When he's chasing some predacons underwater. So yeah, very cool. You get to see the amazing metallic teal pinaps on the shark's hide. Look at that. I mean, back then, Kenner knew how to paint their figures. Really, really cool. Some final thoughts on this reissued Beast Wars Cybershark. It's pretty good as far as Beast Wars toys come and go. It's gonna get a pass for me. 6 out of 10, I think. It's not my favorite Beast Wars figure, but the alt mode, the beast mode is really something. Not a big fan of the robot mode. It's got a ton of pretty cool gimmicks, but it's not a super great figure. It's an okay figure. I wouldn't spend too much for this figure. I would say just wait for it to go on clearance. Unless you're the type who's really into Beast Wars figures and you're really trying to complete everything and, as part of your collection, then I say, okay, you can go ahead and get this one. It's great for you guys who missed out on the 90s release. But if you're just a casual Transformers collector and you're trying to get pieces here and there from various lines, this is not one to go out and just run to the store and get. I would suggest clearance or wait for somebody to let it go for a very low price. Let me know in the comments what you think of this reissued Beast Wars Deluxe Class Cybershark. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.